that's like they're mainstream comedy. That's what I was saying.
Okay.
It's like with music,
Right.
mainstream music, and then you got the real
True.
for the people, of the people.
Right. Underground. Above ground.
Oh, above ground.
Mainstream.
I don't know.
I don't know how you put that.
And then how comedy and stuff started like underground. Are we recording?
Yeah. I don't know.
I did not know.
That was the fade out.
Hey everybody, welcome to Tangent Bandits.
I think it was cute that it started.
I thought I was
like
having
that.
a side conversation.
No, it was cute that it started. I think that lets the people know that I always have a hard time getting her to be quiet in the beginning.
You know that was my only problem in school was
No, that wasn't your problem.
talking and singing, just talking and you be quiet. That would be the only thing I would get in trouble about.
Really?
Yes.
I had
She's
a lot of issues.
Bit talkative. But she's doing well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I had issues with power.
Power.
Yeah, like
Authority?
yeah. I think
How
I had
so?
authority issues a little bit.
Y'all got me in the camera.
Scoot in a little bit.
Oh.
Only the reason I had authority issues is because, like, don't try to act buck with me and then get soft with other people or handle.
Oh.
You know how they used to. They
were selective.
with
Okay.
those unruly students who they had the special touch with.
Yeah.
Like, bitch, I'm gonna be a special toucher. You ain't gonna touch me at all. What you gonna do?
But I think maybe the teachers were thinking like, okay, I have to take certain approaches with certain students.
I ain't for that. I need.
Okay, never mind.
We gonna go into.
I'm just throwing that out there.
The justice system. I need you to be fair across the board.
The justice system.
Okay.
The justice system of 2018.
Oh no, that's what I'm saying. I need you to be fair across the board, and if you are not, we're gonna have an issue.
There's definitely issues.
Always telling me to be quiet first. Everybody in this bed talking, and you want to single me out.
Or everybody speeding, but you the one that get pulled over.
Yeah, like what?
I was following
Follow
the
the
flow
car.
of traffic.
Right.
I was following the flow of traffic. But yeah, I'm the one that get pulled over. All right.
You know what? Cars be mad at me,
Ticket.
especially on my way up here, because you know they don't care over
Yeah,
here.
they don't care.
And I be going the speed limit, and they be like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Baby, it'll be me.
I done had some trying times.
It'll be me. If anybody get pulled over, man, I'm not doing it."
You gotta protect your butt. That's what they say.
You stupid.
But okay. So how have you been? How's your week been going? It's Friday. We were supposed to go on air on Thursday. However, my personal life just did not work out, and
That's
Jermaine
fine.
was understanding
No,
of
it's
that.
cool.
So we're recording today on Friday. So how was your week?
It was good. I've been, you know what? I'm in between jobs. I'll keep it all the way real there. So I just been
Why
basically
not?
putting in applications and sitting in the house, but
Sit it out.
sitting in the house. And just waiting on that phone call, because I had a few people that said they was going to do something, which is why you can't put all your chips in one basket. So I'm kind of punishing myself for that. But I've been enjoying the weather. I'm loving that it's coming down from the heat. And I'm like, and I get to watch the sun come up from my bedroom.
Oh, okay. Look at you.
So it used to be like super bright at 6:30.
Right. That's
now
true.
it'd be like 7, 8, and it
is
still be a little
kinda
dark
low, a little
outside.
mellow,
I'm like,
good to
yes,
watch.
I love that. This is the perfect time of year. Like, I would go outside and walk for no reason, just because it's like,
I like the scarf and sweater season. That's always a good
we
time.
both
for
got
me.
on sweaters today.
Just saying, I got a little turtleneck.
Right.
That girl got a turtleneck.
I might, because when it was hot outside, I go step out the door of the apartment building and go right back in. Like, nope, we'll do it tomorrow.
I can't do the heat. It makes me sleepy.
It make me feel dirty.
And like I can't breathe.
And
Yeah, you
you-
want to wash your face as soon as you get in the house.
Yeah, I'm like, well, germaphobe.
That is
so
correct.
It really do things to me.
That's normal.
What about you? Other than,
I've gotten through my whole week of work
you
or
did.
whatever.
She's a super mom.
I'm super tired. But I started working on my website
Yes,
for
you did.
Melanated Millennial. The consulting company, not just Melanated Millennial,
The page.
blogging and the Facebook group and stuff like that, but it's Melanated Millennial, the consulting company. And I don't know if people know, but like the services that I typically provide would be like resumes. If you have a resume, I'll reconstruct it. Change the structure of it so it looks a little bit more attractive. And then for some people, I have to create it from scratch, which is still okay. And then I'm also starting to shape my curriculum for workforce development sessions.
You know what I just thought?
What?
The money that you sent me, I should have told you to keep it.
Did your resume? Well, it's okay. My Cash App is money sign melanated millennial. But the website, I'm using Squarespace for my website, and it's real nice. It's real user friendly. I like it a whole bunch. I got connected with this with the girl that does photography, and it's like apparently she has the deals. So we need to get with her. She's here.
Tell me about it.
She's what is her name?
You had pictures on your website, and she took the pictures.
Well,
or
no,
she
the
helped
picture.
you put
I
the
have
color photos
literally
together?
one picture of myself on the website, like on the about page, and that was just the picture I had already had. I just kind of cropped it out. But she did photos for Positive Paula at her house, and they look good. You seen her photos? Yeah. So she had connected me with her, but I told her I need to get back to her once my vision is done, because I don't want to I want to take it in the right setting. You know what I'm saying? But that will be determined once I get my website done and stuff and get it together. But I mean, for us, that would be different. We still would have to work on vision though to see where we want to take pictures at. And she's got deals apparently. Like the deals, and a whole bunch
with
of pictures.
the deep voice.
Deals. It's a deal, man. And she work a full-time job, and she does photography on the weekends. So shout out to her. I can't remember her name. Nautica something. Her name was Nautica. I can't remember her last name.
She an older woman?
No, she's our age.
I wonder if it's Nautica from
what's her last name?
Going to school with us. The Where to See?
I don't know.
Okay.
From school with us?
Yeah.
No, she's not from my high school.
Okay, cool.
It's somebody else. But anyway, yeah, I've been working on the website, and it should be published like within the next week. I'll just have to kind of finish out some details. I'm still looking to add millennials to be featured on the page as well. So if anybody is interested, just shoot me a message in the inbox or comment under the post that I made earlier today. Okay.
All right.
Yes.
Come on, preparation.
Do you want to move on?
We can move on.
We're moving right along.
That's all I got.
Okay. That's where the train stops. Okay, so I recently watched on Netflix, it's a movie called Nappily Ever After, starring Sanaa Lathan. Did you get the chance to see it? No, but you can see it.
Yeah.
You gonna watch it?
I'm gonna watch it.
It was good. There were a lot of moments and statements that really stood out to me that I was like, ooh, that's deep. But I was watching it with Daoud, so the stuff that was touching my soul and that I was identifying with, I was so deeply intrigued by. He was just sitting there
vibing with you.
He was sitting there with a straight face, like. I was like, okay.
Did he give you any feedback?
No, he was saying he was liking it. He was shocked by some of the things. So like some of the moments that kind of stood out was one, it was the fear of the rain when her hair was straightened. So like she was so paranoid, and she was like, what's the weather today? As soon as she got into her office, asked her assistant that, and she was like, oh, okay, great. And then she was looking up, y'all sure that's not a storm cloud? That is like a storm cloud. But I was like, man, that used to be me. When my hair was straightened, or even if because of course it's natural now, but even if I go to the shopping and get it straightened, I know like if it gets wet, I have a fro all over again. Over. It don't even have to get wet. If it's humid outside, my hair starts to just jerry curl. Like
you stupid.
I better be carrying a headband in my back pocket to make sure I can at least look okay.
You said a straightening comb in your back pocket.
I said a headband to kind of just pull it back,
back.
Make it look like it was a style. I planned this, y'all. I planned it. But that was one of the things I could relate to. So we did giggle and laugh about that.
Only reason I feel like you should be obsessed with that is because if you spend money to get your hair done.
That too.
Oh, I would be upset if I just got it done and then I got to drop another
you gotta come
$60,
back.
$70.
And that's another thing. Since people have been going natural, getting your hair straightened is not as cheap as it used to be. Before it was like, oh, you just want a price? Okay. Now it's like $85. Somebody one time, he was like, oh, well, it's going to be $95 for your first time. And then it wasn't that he was going to straighten my hair, but he was like, I'm going to show you how to straighten your own hair. And I was like, wait a minute. I just want you to do my hair. Like he was trying to get me to pay to get my hair done, but then also pay for like a one-on-one session or a lesson. I was like, dude, I'm coming to somebody because I want somebody to handle it.
I just want you to do it.
I want you to use your flat irons and your products. I don't want to buy your stuff, and I don't. That was just for a different group, and I wasn't a part of that group. So I was like, oh, this That's not what I was looking for.
For the girls who didn't have a mom, I guess.
Oh, okay.
No
okay.
shade.
Okay.
I mean, that don't. Well, maybe for the girls who didn't have a professional hairstylist.
I know how to straighten my hair, but at the same time, if I want it to last, I'm gonna go to the shop because it just, I don't know. Maybe I don't have the most. I don't have the most expensive flat irons.
Humor.
Right, dark
Oops,
humor.
My bad.
Oops. For all of you motherless childs, not just play. But no, I don't have like high quality flat irons, or sometimes it could be the shampoo or the conditioner that they use that I ain't paying for, because my conditioner and my shampoo, I really don't even use shampoo, but no, the stuff that I use is for kinky hair. It's not use this and then straighten your hair, it's going to be super straight. No, it's for when I wear my hair curly and I do a wash and go. That is it. So it's cool to go to the shop when you want to straighten it. We got way off subject.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. But another situation that kind of stood out was the fact that, okay, so basically, I kind of set this for you. It was her birthday. On the morning of her birthday, while her man was asleep in the bed, she got up. Her mother came over and flat ironed her hair at her house while her man was in the same house in the bed sleep. So she had her mother come up early we don't even know what time it was. And it was sad that her mother was like promoting this, like, come on, baby, let me get you together. She straightened her hair. Basically, looked like she had a little makeup on. I can't remember if they showed her putting it on or not, but she looked like she had on some makeup, and she laid down next to him like basically like a doll. And he woke up and was like, oh, baby. And she was acting like she was just waking up. So, like, she wake up with her hair. She didn't wear a scarf.
Right.
She didn't wrap it or anything like that. So,
oh my God.
She wakes up perfect. No, but she was creating this image of her waking up perfect.
No, I'm laughing because I'm thinking of something I used to do.
Oh, Lord.
I'll tell you later.
Okay. But she's trying to put it off as like she wakes up perfect every day. Like, she was so worried about portraying that image to him. And he kissed her and was like, his reaction was kind of like, oh, you brushed your teeth already? Dang, your breath smell good first thing in the morning. And she was expecting him to propose to her on her birthday. So he was doing all this.
Don't give too much away. Well, that was in the trailer.
It was in the trailer.
Okay.
It was in the trailer. And because it kind of makes sense, too. But he was like kind of going through her assistant to see what she likes. Mm-hmm. And when he didn't propose to her, she was so mad. And she was like, I thought you said I was perfect. Yeah. And then he hit her with like a hook and was like, yeah, you too perfect. I don't even know you. Everything is surface level with her. Everything was superficial with her. Yeah, that was like she took that tough. Get out. Like she was mad as heck. But it was like reality. And I was like, dang, that's why, just like how I was saying before with the girls that portray certain things and they attract the guys with physical image and superficial things. And then when they get the guy, they're like, why can't I keep him? Or why don't he love me like he loved the other girl that's not even doing everything that I'm doing? Because he didn't get to know you. Yeah. And either he ain't taking the time to do it, or maybe you so busy trying to be perfect and portray something that at the end of the night, like after 2 years of being around somebody and you up in my house sleeping in my bed and you can genuinely say like, I don't know you. I had to ask your assistant for everything, your favorite flowers, everything that she wanted for that night to be perfect.
I'm going to go ahead and say that on his part, too, that he after 2 years, you haven't put in the effort to get to know her.
But then again, it could be that she's literally just trying to do what she thinks appeases to him. Mm-hmm. What kind of flowers you want, babe? Oh, whatever you get me. Mm-hmm. I'm down with that. Like the lapdog syndrome, basically. To where you like just doing, you know what I'm saying? You kind of going with whatever he put out. And that really was hurtful. It was sad to kind of watch. I did get a little emotional.
I was mad from the trailer. Dang. He was real rude.
Mm-hmm. He was like, I don't know you. And she was like, why won't you marry me?
Can I bring in another component?
But I believe it. Go ahead.
He wasn't like the stereotypical like black man. He was like a foreign type of black man. Mm-hmm. So maybe she was trying to hold herself to an exotic standard for him.
Not sleeping with a headscarf.
Right.
Her hair is straight all the time.
So.
But then again,
I don't think he was acknowledging the effort that she like. You gotta acknowledge the effort she was putting in. Come on, that's not even fair. Talk about you was too perfect. Yeah, because I'm trying, Nick.
Yeah, you was trying to, but it's still like. You trying so hard to portray something to the point where somebody like really doesn't know who you are.
Okay, true.
That is like at the end of the day, like that's just what, and I can't say it's just all her fault because apparently, I mean, it looked like her mother was pushing it. Yeah. You need to do this. You need to do that. This is how you're going to get a man. But then yet her mother don't even have a man. So it was like
the gag is.
Yeah, the mom is like kind of living through her and trying to tell her the ins and the outs, but she really kind of steering her in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
And then I liked where she kind of started going in a direction of like changing her hair.
Yeah.
And I thought that was kind of cool because it made me think of like, we do that all the time. We cut our hair off. What that mean? We moving on.
Right.
Goodbye. I'm on to the next thing. I'm done with that. I'm shedding my fur. I'm done with that. The other thing that she had, what she called fuck you hair. And it was when she dyed her hair blonde. Her friends, they should have told her that they didn't like it because they didn't all the way say it. They was like, It's just like when we trying to decide who get to come and stay in the black list. You don't know. I'm back and forth on this one. But she was calling it that. And other styles that we kind of use, I had thought about, like when we in transition, typically we're wearing some braids and we're trying to protect it, going from being perm to trying to be natural. And then
You so silly.
And then going natural, I feel like that's kind of a staple of I'm accepting my beauty, or I think like a certain level of I don't know what I want to say.
Black
Being-
pride?
I would
Culturally aware?
not, I guess that, but then also too just being like, man, forget this. I'm not about to try to. I don't have to keep on maintaining what society is saying that I have to be. I'm about to just do my stuff. I'm about to do me. I'm gonna do me. I'm gonna do how I am. This is me. And then the other one I had was identity crisis. What you think that is?
I
I thought it was funny when I wrote it. I was like, oh.
used to have these ideas back in the day because I'm still a boy.
I said a weave or a wig.
How you think you stupid. You think that's an identity crisis when you throw in a wig?
No, I thought it was funny. No, because it's just like you're trying to be something else for the night. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just got to get away from what I got going on right now. Give me this
costume
wig.
effect.
Because right now, what I got going on in my head is not working out. So let me go ahead and just put on this wig real quick. But that was a joke. It doesn't mean that people that wear weave are having identity crisis. But it was funny when I thought about it.
There's a subtle component. Like, I need to put on my costume tonight.
I gotta go do something.
Be Sharkeisha tonight.
Mm-hmm. Hello. Hello. Go on and get them.
You know what I used to think about real hard? What makes women choose the hair colors they be choosing? I'm like, is it a different type of vibe you coming in with the red hair as opposed to like if you wear blonde or
I think
your
these
hair
days,
black?
I don't think that the
Or
girls
just
are
look-
thinking deep about it. They're just like, it looks trendy, it's popular.
Okay.
For a minute, people was dyeing their hair gray with hints of purple in it because Rihanna had that little shooting. You know,
Okay.
people were doing it. So I think it's more of a fad thing. For some people, they do it like because the season is changing, like in the fall.
Okay.
I probably want to get some braids, and a lot of times when in fall, people will start getting like auburn colors and browns and stuff like that in their hair.
Okay.
So that's all I can think of. Or sometimes they just want to change it up. Or they might be having an identity crisis.
It's true.
I don't know what's going on with me. I need something. I got to do something. And that's what they can control.
Or
their
the
hair.
maintenance issues.
I can control my hair.
Because some like wigs, like it's easier to maintain.
Oh, yes. And they
buy
are.
a little $30 wig and
Take it off, hang it up.
and buy another one. 2
Put
weeks
your
from
bonnet
now.
on. But all in all, I do suggest people watch this movie. It was a good watch. I enjoyed the movie. It was a lot of moments that had me like, "Ooh, yes, I feel you tonight." And she did a good job acting. When she had that drunk scene,
You stupid.
I was convinced.
You stupid.
I love to be convinced in a movie. I love to be convinced. I was like, "Oh, she toasted."
Can I add
Her
some-
acting was
some
good.
mess into the situation?
Oh, my
Speaking
God.
of being toasty and tonight, I like that.
Oh my god! I don't
Apparently-
think I want to hear that. Wait a minute. What you about to say about her?
Apparently, people haven't been supporting the movie like they should because they still mad about the Beyonce thing.
Hey man, hey, for real, y'all don't know what happened in there. Nobody was there. Moving right along.
Tiffany, they call her Tiffany, talking
See,
like
there she go
Haddish.
again, hating. See, that's what I'm talking about, man. Doing too much. When you at the table, man. Be cool at the table.
And I'll plug it since I didn't watch it. I didn't watch it because I kind of hate movies that are like stereotypically trying to appease current topics. But I think from what I seen in the trailers, and I did watch, I zoomed through it because we was gonna talk about it.
Right.
I think it does speak to like identity issues and And that could be not necessarily regarding hair, just a whole bunch of things. Maybe, it touches you in a special way because you're trying to get your weight together. Or you work in a certain environment that's not necessarily where you're from. Or you have a certain mindset that doesn't go along with your family.
I think it was extremely relevant.
It teaches you how to accept yourself type thing.
Accepting yourself. And then also, like, watching it, it was a lot of, like, self-reflection because I was identifying with so much of it. Like, dang. I kind of do that too. I kind of think like that too. But watching somebody else do it, you start to see like, that's not really too cool. It's not. That ain't the way to be. Look at her. It was good. I enjoyed the movie.
Or those passed down ideologies, because I feel like the mother-daughter relationship.
It makes you think about that trauma and them traumas we was talking about a few weeks ago when we were talking about traumas. And sometimes, and then also too, I know her mother wasn't doing it to hinder her, but
she was trying to help her.
She thought she was helping her.
She was trying to teach her how to live for the time that she came from, not necessarily the time that they're in.
Because now we want to know who he is, because it's a world of with social media. Anybody can portray anything. They can do that. But it was when he said, "Girl, I don't even know you," I was like, "Ooh."
Did her mother come to some realizations too in the movie?
She was hurt. Y'all gotta watch it.
Okay, fine. There you go. Good for you.
Look at me get my practice in.
Next.
Y'all gotta watch it. Oh wait. Okay, so my mother called.
Speaking of proposals that didn't happen. Hey, that was a great segue. I didn't even try.
Like Jameer said, speaking of proposals that did not happen. Put a different tone on it, so it make it sound like I came up with it or whatever. We gonna just edit the other part out, and we gonna start where I started, where I said, speaking of proposals that didn't happen. But no, on a serious note. So no, my mother, she called me. You are very funny. My mother called me, and she was telling me how she heard on the radio that millennials are not getting married these days, or at least they're holding off on marriage these days. And she was telling me, like, that's a really good topic. You should talk about that on your show or in your group or whatever. And I was like, yes, Mom.
As a millennial who did not hold off, though.
As a millennial who did not hold off.
No, you did hold.
Actually, technically, I feel like I did.
You did.
I feel like I did,
but not as early as traditionally.
Right, but
we'll
get into it because
no shade. I was just being
no. It's funny because I had thought that.
The same thing.
I thought that. That's why I didn't get my commentary online. So I posted on Melanated Millennial, my Melanated Millennial Facebook group, and of course, like, who else would be the better audience to ask about this other than a group of millennials that are active online?
Are not married.
Yeah, and most of them are not married. So I had asked. Well, basically, I posted the article from USA Today. And basically they were saying, like, millennials are holding out on marriage, thus decreasing the divorce rate. So I posted the article in the group, and here are some of the responses too. Because my question was, why are you guys holding out on marriage? Somebody tell me something.
Can we start why you decided to get married first and then go that way?
Go into it.
Okay, fine. We'll let you handle it. We'll let you do it the way you want to do it.
Because it's come all the way down. But okay. So, it makes a little bit more sense when I go after, because it kind of dispels some of their reasons.
True.
So Cherie said on the group, "Hi, Cherie. I hope you watch this because you're getting a shout out. I don't know. Seeing failed marriages and failed relationships of our parents getting married doesn't seem appealing. Also, marriage is a choice nowadays. Since women of our generation have more opportunities, marriage isn't needed that much."
Oh, she looking at it fiscally.
It ain't needed, girl. I got it on
I
my
got
own.
money.
But you know what? That mentality ain't good for us. It ain't. But anyways,
they have been teaching us that through movies. That's the wrong mentality.
I don't like that mentality all the way. Not 100%. But anyways, it's a case by case thing. I think Brandon Earl, he said, "I think millennials are less likely to get married too. Having kids less. We're making more conscious choices. So when we do it right. We don't feel the obligation to get married before we are ready." Okay. And then Latanya said her response was because relationships are not the same anymore. And I was like, can you elaborate? Tell me what's going on. And she said people jump in and out of relationships. They don't take the time to get to know one another. They move in together without knowing each other. Just like we were saying, happily ever after. They move in together without knowing each other. And the first argument, they ready to run instead of fighting for love. And then lastly, Positive Paula said, we've seen so many failed relationships. We are making better decisions as far as when, who, and making sure that we can maintain a marriage and everything else that comes with it. And another thing that I did come across online was the financial aspect. I can't afford a wedding, or really some people just like, I can't afford to be a husband. Like, I can't afford to provide for an entire household. So those are some of the reasons. I want to kind of unpack some of the things. I kind of already said something in response to Cherie's statement. But with Brandon, he was saying basically that he thinks that the millennials are less likely to get married and have kids less because they're making more conscious choices. And I think that does kind of go back to the quote unquote like definition of millennials. We're like so thoughtful and we're so in touch with our feelings, and we look at the past and we learn from it, and we use that information moving forward. We don't want to be like the previous generations. So I could identify with that, with what him saying right there. And then he also saying like basically they don't feel like they obligated to get married until they are ready. Yeah. Which in previous generations, it was like
a religious
y'all
component.
Get married when y'all gonna jump the broom. It was like, I mean, even my grandparents who've been married since age 19 and they're still married together.
It was like a huge societal pressure.
There was a pressure, especially if somebody pregnant. But
right.
But with my grandparents, when me and Daoud were in college, so when are you guys getting married? And this was before I had even gotten pregnant. When is the marriage coming? When you getting married? And it was that question all the way on up until it was, we're getting married.
I don't know, because
I think it's a generational thing.
I've always been, I kind of had that mentality like when you go get married to some people, but I always pick and choose with couples. I said that too, because other couples I'm like, so y'all still,
when y'all breaking up?
Yeah, for
when
real.
Is y'all letting this go?
Y'all ain't finished yet?
Y'all not finished? You don't see this as unhealthy, man? You don't see this? But you can't tell nobody nothing when they're in a relationship. You just can't. You just can't. They don't want to hear it. Then LaTanya with her statement about people getting together without knowing each other, which I could agree with that too.
You ain't never gonna know nobody until you live with them, and you definitely ain't gonna never know nobody until you get into argument with them, because that's a whole different person there who they present to you. So
I think you gotta have
a constant learning mentality.
Yeah, you gotta have an argument, and you gotta see them at a low point.
Okay.
Like with them having something, I mean, don't hope for it, people, but like seeing somebody like lose a job, or somebody trying to get work and it's not working out for them, and they feeling real low. They're not feeling too good about themselves, or maybe somebody experiencing a loss. That's when you really see like how a person can handle certain things in certain situations, and that would give me some better inclination. Which is why, like with me and Daoud knowing each other since, I don't know, I was 17. I feel like I really...
Since 2009?
2009. Since I was about
9
17.
years.
Right, 9 years, and we just got married a few months ago.
Y'all going on a decade in a minute.
A decade. But I ain't gonna take I ain't gonna claim a decade straight, everybody. It's been a couple breaks. I don't want to...
They need to know all that.
I mean, I'm just saying, though, because, I mean,
be
somebody will be watching like, girl.
I remember.
And I'll be like, but... Did you get the ring? Like, it's right here. But anyways, and then so a dude could be like, well, you know, me and her, we talking, but whatever.
Okay.
So
I didn't know you still had the people in your lives, because you know I'd be clear in the house.
I don't think about them, but I have to be.
I'm sure they're there.
I gotta be clear.
Yeah.
I don't ever want to portray of like me and Daoud were together for 10 years and blah 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 before we got married.
You said known each other.
I said we known each other. We've been in each other's life. I will say he has been a constant. I don't. Since I have known Daoud, since I met him.
You're so crazy.
No,
right
it's
now.
funny because since I met Daoud at orientation at the University of Toledo.
How cute is that story?
It's so beautiful. I can tell y'all the story in a minute. But since I have known this man, I swear we maybe have gone maybe 2 days without talking to each other. But that is the longest. Even if we were together, not together.
Wow.
Even when we was broken up, Daoud would drive from Columbus to come visit me in Toledo. Or he would come all the way to Toledo and take me back to Columbus. And I'll be staying there for like only 2 days. But he wanted to see me, okay?
Let him know.
But I mean, together or not, I swear I would say maybe like only 2 days we went without talking to each other. And of course it had to be, I might have been mad. Maybe he was mad about something because of course we weren't together.
Right.
So, but anyways, let me get on back.
My bad.
Okay, but I'll tell you how we met. And my story is the truth, not Daoud's.
Okay.
We can have him come on here and debate it if he wants to.
He came up to me. I did not come up to him. The old Mark and Gina situation.
Yeah, but my story is accurate though, because I feel like I have a good account of things. My memory is better than his. Okay, and then Positive Paula was saying that we've seen so many failed relationships, and we're making better decisions as far as when, who. And again, I think this goes back to being a young adult and being able to recognize what type of traumatic situations we were placed in because of the relationships our parents had.
Yes.
So I can get what she's saying, but failed marriages wouldn't be something that stops me from getting married, because since I could remember, I knew I was going to get married and I was going to have me a family and I was going to have me a career. I knew I was going to have it. I was going to have all of them things. I was going to have, and that's what I plan to do and what I try to maintain.
This is a hard topic for me because, legally I wasn't able to get the legalizations of what I would be doing. Mm-hmm. But I'm thinking about it.
Okay, chime in.
What was I saying? I don't think I based anything off of the success of like my predecessors, because if that was the case, it'd be a lot of things I hadn't did. No shade to them. It's just like, so that wouldn't have been a factor. But I think the factor that like people aren't necessarily addressing is the financial component.
Yes.
Because like statistically and factually in history, marriage was a financial commitment and you had to do it if you wanted to be taken care of or live a certain lifestyle. And the statistics and economics of it now is like a marriage is going to cost you more than it's going to benefit you. So I think that's a lot of the decisions. Like, and then sometimes statistically with men and women, it's hard to find somebody who's going to match your income. So like, nobody is willing to take on somebody who's supposed to help, and then they become a burden. So I think it's more so that factor. I think if the money situation was a little bit better,
that would change it. I think it would too.
Because come on, let's talk about the baby boomer era. Why people had so many kids, because it was after the war. Women were working now, and if you got money, you doing good. You have a lot of sex, and you have a lot of babies. Right. That's just it. And people aren't as financially, stable as they used to be. True. So you're not trying to have no kids. You're not trying to commit to nobody because you're too busy focusing on how am I going to make this work for myself.
And this is an era of self.
Yeah.
Self-interest.
I mean, this is the selfie
taking care of myself.
Era.
I mean, it's the selfie era. like what more is you expecting for real? And I think like people that are our age or millennials that are getting married, I don't want to say we just rare, like we like a white dove or something in a pond full of yellow ducks. Oh. But
the shade of it all.
Let me stop. No. But seriously, like it is kind of rare. It is, because even with like when I'm trying to plan, when I be calling you like, yeah, we gonna do this or let's do this day, and I'm like, I got wife and mommy duties stuff that I gotta do. Like the weekends is always kind of bad for me because that's my time. And
applaud to you for being committed to having your family time designated.
I be trying. But I think it just depends on the mentality of the people involved. It really does. And ironically, by chance, just because, and not because that was just I guess this is why I think he is my soulmate. I ended up just meeting him. We just happened to just be so equally yoked to where some stuff we didn't even have to discuss.
Come on, scripture.
I'm just saying it just fell together. Like our beliefs on certain things, or with raising the kids, just financially we be going back and forth. I can't say that. but no, just in general, we really are pretty much equally yoked, and that's why it works with us getting married at age 26 and 27. We would have been married earlier, but I wanted a ring, and Daoud was saying, we could just get married. We don't got to get no ring. And then when I got the ring, that's when it That's when it happened. So
we're going to do a lot of things, but this is what we're not going to do.
I could have been 23 and married, but I think we got married like
that's
at the right time. I feel like I'm
statistically like 4 years earlier than in history, right?
Yeah.
Because most people get married at it was 19 to 25, and now it's more like 25 to 30.
I feel like 26 was a reasonable time. I feel like we're still gonna change, but the thing is, over the past 9 years, Daoud and I, we have evolved together already. Yeah. So we just gonna continue to ride. You see what I'm saying? I've already experienced the changes. Like dealing with somebody at 18 and 19.
Right.
Trying to be in a committed relationship.
Y'all really did successfully grow up together.
We went over some hurdles.
The mentality
grown
you
up
have
together.
at that age opposed to the mentality you have now. Woo, y'all did
not
some
the same
work,
man, not the same woman.
You really have to grow with a person from those two ages. Those are some dramatic mental growth eras.
There really is, especially it then put us in a college setting,
right?
Where it's ample freedom,
right.
all the freedom,
the choices,
so many other options.
Many one night stands that went.
Oh shoot! But it's so many options. There's so much going on, and of course, people get sidetracked because they have a younger mentality, and then I think at 17, I was thinking like, I'm gonna marry Daoud.
Yeah.
He wasn't thinking he was gonna marry me.
Most people
he
go
liked
to
me.
grad
I
school
liked
to
him.
find a man. You went to
my freshman year.
To find a man. Okay. I'm gonna find my man in grad school. Okay.
Find him.
I'm gonna find him on the master's.
And what's ironic, nobody was looking for each other. So this is what had happened.
Okay.
If anybody wants to know.
Go for it.
So of course I was late getting to my orientation. Everybody know I'm always late. It just happened. The Greyhound. I'm gonna blame it on the Greyhound. So anyways, I got there late. People was already sit down. I don't know. They was filling out some paperwork. It was like different tables or whatever. He claims that he seen me walk in. I don't know. I didn't see him. I ain't really see nobody because I was trying to find my seat. So I sat down. So then the festivities go on. Then they have all of these vendor tables out. And I'm walking around and I seen Daoud. He had on like a green polo hat. And I thought he was somebody from high school. And I looked, and I was like, oh, no, he's not. And I just kept, like, going about my, I thought I knew him. So I just kept going about whatever. And then it was time to eat. So when you go to, I don't even know what they call it. I don't know. When you go in there to go and eat, they got a little buffet up there. But we wanted to hurry up and find a table. So I was with my grandmother and my cousin Whitney. And I think my younger cousin Mikey, I want to say. He was already sitting at the table with his brother. I thought his brother was his dad.
Y'all sat at the same table together?
Yeah, he was already sitting down, and I came to the table. Right.
Oh, that was so perfect. Wow.
So they was already sitting down, and my grandmother was like, oh, let's sit at that table. That's why he always say, your grandmother picked me up, and she gave me for real.
That is a really cool story.
Yeah. So then we sit down or whatever. Yeah, his name is Daoud, so... And I guess
y'all had conversation about it.
Right. I guess this is dumb of me because I was like, what is he, Muslim? Or like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, is he foreign? He's from Africa? That's what I said.
I would have thought Africa
Are you
too.
from, what's up with your name? What's going on here? He was like, it's Daoud. It mean David. Blah, 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 blah. Going into this is Arabic or Muslim. And I was like, oh, my name is too. I'm Layla. Blah, blah, blah. So we all we laugh, we make jokes. And then his brother leaves the table. When his brother came back, he noticed that his cookies was gone because Daoud ate his cookies. He ate all of his cookies. And you know what he did? He blamed it on me. Oh. She ate them cookies. Like, I was like, oh, no.
Oh, that's funny.
And then my grandmother agreed with him. And she played along with it. So I was like, oh.
Grandma fun.
This is too much. Right. She's very funny. She is real funny. But dang, I was like, come on, man. We just met him. We just met him.
Y'all ain't had no choice after that point.
Right. So then that all happens. Everybody leaves. And like I'm walking in the hallway, and then Daoud is there, and then we started talking.
We're going to get a knock at the door in a couple of minutes.
Right.
There's black people, and I don't know what they're doing.
Talking about. And then we started talking. I didn't have a cell phone because my brother didn't get my cell phone yet. He got me my phone before college. But anyways, I didn't have a cell phone. So what did I do? I put my house number in his phone, but I was in Toledo, so it was like, when was you gonna call me? When I'm gonna be back?
Y'all bumped into each other again on the quad.
And that's what happened. No, we spent that whole summer before going to college. We spent that whole summer together, like every day, and we went on so many quadruple dates. It was ridiculous. Because he had like this purple truck, and it was like him and like 3 of his friends and their girlfriends, which was kind of weird for me because, I don't really be having friends like that. So it was awkward because the girls knew each other. I was the only person that didn't know nobody, and I only knew Daoud. So it was kind of awkward at first. But we spent that whole summer going to the movies, being out late at night, and then we go off to college. That was the story, and mine is the truth.
Okay.
Don't let Daoud tell you otherwise.
Well, I don't know. I was gonna go into like my little mental issues that I be having, and I feel like this is probably common because we live in an era where everybody looks so much better than what they probably are, and then a lot of us aren't necessarily able to portray those things to like a higher extent. So I be looking at people like, oh, they would be like the perfect person to be with, but then I'm like,
they're crazy.
But I'm not. You know what I'm saying? Like talking myself down, like, oh, they gonna expect this type of person. So like, there's people who probably like mentally match, but the personas don't match.
That's deep.
So that's probably like a huge component of it. Like, am I gonna be the type of person?
Like, you're ruling yourself out, though.
Am I gonna am I the type of person that take couple pictures?
Mm-hmm.
Do I want somebody who been taking couple pictures with another motherfucker? You know what I'm saying? Like, they didn't glamorize this whole relationship. Now they not even in it no more.
That's the thing, though. Like, so many people glamorize relationships, and then you talk to them, and they be like, man, I can't stand so-and-so. Or just from general conversation, you be like, they is not as tight as they portray. And you got some couples that like to buy matching shoes and matching outfits and take pictures with them. And then that's about it.
Used to.
That is about it. Again, superficial things, and
I think
ain't really no love there.
Having a hard time distinguishing the things we want versus the things we need in this era. And like finding the things you want and then not being nourished is a problem, and then finding the things you need but still
you're missing
chasing what you want.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably a big component of it too. I don't think it's necessarily like a bad thing. Clearly, it's not. The divorce rate is going down, so when we do make choices,
hopefully we're making the
good
best choices. We're making the best choices
for
ourselves. Best of luck.
That was great.
We shall see.
Graduation rates going up, divorces going down. I think this generation doing it.
Hello.
Speaking of this generation and things being awry, though.
Okay.
Things being better while simultaneously being weirder.
Okay, where you going with this?
We're going into the Tiffany Haddish, Kevin Hart situation.
Okay, so we talked about it last week.
We talked about Cat Williams and Tiffany Haddish. But this week we talk about Tiffany Haddish and Kevin Hart because they were on the Breakfast Club to promote their new movie, Night School, which comes out this Friday, today. And you'll probably be hearing this on Monday. So, go see or
check it in.
Let us know what you thought. But I think one of the things, the highlights of the whole interview that I really wanted to pull out was the fact that Kevin Hart was saying it used to be a time where comedians were handpicked by the industry. We'll say it like that. The industry handpicked what artist was going to be up next. But he was taking the time to say, yeah, I produced this movie. I wrote this movie. I sold this movie. And I put a lot of diverse actors to work. I am changing the narrative of what it means to be at the top and create access for other people. In the midst of me doing this, the same people who had the same opportunities I had are tearing us down. So us as a people have to ask ourselves, what do we want? Do we want the old school effect where the only people who made it were the ones that the industry picked? Or do we want to create an environment where we're working amongst ourselves and we're able to put each other on? And I feel like that was a real thing to put out. Even if he necessarily doesn't go about it the right way, or he hasn't gone about it the right way in the past, he does have the correct mindset it takes to get that type of thing done. So in the midst of all the drama, in the midst of all the she said, he said, back and forth that we're going to bring up a little bit later, because people just couldn't leave that alone, that we are taking the time to acknowledge, like, this is the mindset we should have. Now we got to get through. Once you have the vision statement, you got to hit the goals correctly. And I think that's where things might be a little shaky on that part. But, and make sure we're not doing it in a way where we just capitalizing off those of us who would have made it anyways. Because that's when it get tricky. Are you putting on people who wouldn't have had a chance without you? Or are you picking up people
who's already on fire? Who
already on their way on the come up? Because those are two totally different things. Like they was talking about the Wayne brothers and how Keenan should have
Ivory. Which one? Who you talking about?
Probably Keenan.
What you about to say?
Color What is it called?
In Living Color.
In Living
I'm saying.
Color. He should have signed all them artists that was under him because he would have made residuals off of them for like the rest of their lives. And I'm like, is that the type of industry we want? Where just because people put you on, they want money off you for the rest of your life?
I think it was better the way that he did it. Was gave him a platform and you go off and do what you gonna do.
But is that still the mentality of certain people? Are we in this? I'm going to grab you and hold on to you for life, because there was a lot of, and I hate to speak negatively about people, but I think this is a component that we need to speak on as a people, because it's kind of raunchy. Steve Harvey was trying to pick up a lot of the YouTube era people and put them on, but he wanted so much out of them for so long. It was like, this is just a master under a different name. Like,
didn't that sound like what they were offering for it? Well, according to Monique, when she was saying that she was signing a contract and she couldn't go on tour.
I think it's a difference between getting that.
But I'm still on a chain in a sense.
Yeah.
In some aspect, I'm basically chain and ball with you. I think that is kind of like exploitation. Like I mean, it's like when people get those crappy 360 deals, and you sign up and we want all of these albums from you. Basically, they own you. You can't get out of your contract. Everything you do, they're gonna make sure they get their money out of it. So. That is crappy. No, I wouldn't want to sign up for it. If I was a YouTuber, I'd be like, no, Steve, I'm cool.
It's a totally different level of exploitive.
And you supposed to be Big Brother. No, you supposed to be teaching me the game, not running game on me. Like, that's where I would be like, no, I'm cool. Right. I'm okay. I'm okay. I don't need it that bad. You know what I'm saying? Especially these YouTubers. They all have a lot of potential because people going to continue to keep watching all these little funny videos, these tidbits. As long as we have celebrities and Hollywood and these reality TV shows, they're going to always have something to talk about and make fun of, and people going to enjoy it because we like making fun of people that place themselves up here. True. Bye, Steve. I might not get super big, but I'm be all right. Like, I'll be all right.
I just think it's jacked up. You know, in a Monique situation, she's made a name for herself, so she knows you can make the money. But you dangling a carrot in front of somebody who feel like they ain't never gonna eat.
That
so
sounds really like
real
exploitation.
Janky.
I mean, and I don't know if you care too much, but like, what show is that? Black Ink Crew, Teddy.
It's not that I see
snippets.
Okay,
so Black Ink Crew, Teddy. Which is Caesar's cousin, the owner. I guess Teddy is a co-owner as well.
The manager.
Didn't even know it. He said he's a co-owner. But anyways, but no, he was saying when the show first started off, he was getting a percentage of what all of the artists were getting from being on the show. And he was like...
He's not even that hot of a character,
That's what he said.
That's jacked up.
That's what he said, but... I think when the second season came out, or eventually or something, like, I guess he said like over time he was like, nah, that ain't even cool. Let me get out of their pockets. And then Caesar followed up and was like, well, yeah, most of them people ain't even on the show. I fired most of that original cast anyways. So I was like, so did you stop doing it, or did they just get fired and the new contracts wasn't going forward?
Right.
But he was like, yeah, you get a percentage of, that. I think he was saying either the contract or a percentage of the tattoos. Either way, he was like, yeah, I just felt like it wasn't good for me to keep taking their money. I didn't feel good about that, so I stopped.
I mean, I understand. I don't know. I don't even know if I understand a percentage of getting of the tattoos, because it depends on how you run your shop.
I feel like if you're paying booth rent, then
it's
that's
over.
it. That's about it, man.
But 1%, that was
unless
kind
we gotta tax the stuff, and you gotta make sure you pay your. I don't know, but. I don't know.
That's real interesting.
It was just that stood out to me when he said that. I was like, oh, you had that said. But then again, them people was carrot dangling, thirsty to be on the show. I want to be a part of this. I'm about to sign. Probably didn't even know that he had, a piece of what they were making. They just signed off on it.
And for them not to be the real, no shade, they not the real stars of the show. Most of the real stars of the show is the ones that don't be getting the real money. So it'll just be like,
because they be on there acting the fool.
Playing too much.
Look at Sky. Well, now she getting money, but she had to act the fool first. Remember, she was just what they call him, a mixie. A girl that comes to like all of the parties and everybody mess with them. Basically, they get around. That's what they was calling her a mixie. But now she's an official member because she got on there and she fought and she took off her panties and put her panties in Teddy's hand. She was just being crazy, man. But she's earned her right.
Yeah.
Got some new boobs, cut her hair off, got her booty done, got a new vagina. She got her booty and her boobs in her vagina done. Wow. That's a lot.
Talk about a come up, huh?
I mean, really, that's like literally like a whole makeover though. Like that's completely different. I didn't even think about that. I didn't connect it because she did it like kind of spaced out. It was like one at a time. Right. It wasn't like, I'm getting it all done at once, y'all. She's
literally a new woman.
She literally is a new woman. Shout out to you, Sky.
Yeah. I ain't got no qualms about her. She funny.
She is funny. I
you
think
can't
she real
deny her.
entertaining.
Yeah.
It's just like with
even the girl she be arguing with be laughing at her in the midst of the argument, like.
Cause she is funny. Cause sometimes she starts singing and stuff, and I be like, man, Sky,
you mad? You oily? I thought that was hilarious. I'm like, even the girl she was arguing with was like,
it's kind of like my love for Jocelyn Hernandez.
She a little bit meaner with
Jocelyn is mean, but she funny as heck. She be having them jokes. She be having punchlines, and her face just be straight the whole time. I guess that's why it's even more funny. And then plus her accent, I'd be like, "Ooh, man, this is Jocelyn." That first season, that first season of Love and Hip Hop. Every night we was up watching it. The first episode, this is when I was roommates with Denisha, and we was up there just hollering, "Oh my God, did you see that?" And I was like, "This gotta be fake. It's gotta be fake." Now she pregnant. Then she had an abortion. Like, it was just too much. He know better. Oh, I miss that Love and Hip Hop.
Well, speaking of being exploited and who's not going to get exploited.
Oh my gosh.
We're going to go into sign or
stop. It's negative.
Or shit and news.
Shit and news. Where we starting with this one, man?
We're going to roll through this one because, this really ain't our thing. But
it's very serious. But I'm going to change my tone, and it's definitely in the news.
No, we got two goofy ones, then we go get serious at the end.
Okay.
We got beef in the fashion industry.
Oh, you don't say.
I wanted to be so mad. I'm like, white people just been throwing hands at each other for this whole little month.
There's been a whole bunch of vanilla friction going on around here, man.
But we love them too.
Oh, for sure. Case by case basis.
Yes. What's understood does not have to be explained.
No, it don't. Yeah. All right, but so what's going on with the fashion industry?
We have Michael Kors versus Versace. At first, it was supposed to be a union, a buyover, but now it's turning into like a whole shenanigan.
Scandalous.
According to, well, at this point, the shade room. But according to Donatella herself, via Instagram post. He was looking to buy a percentage of the company, not even the whole thing, for $2 billion. Can we just take a minute to say how much fashion and like industry luxury items are worth? Like, that's crazy.
$2 billion for a portion.
A portion.
Not the whole thing, just a portion
of a clothing line. Jesus. We got to start investing in ourselves.
I mean, that could change my life. $2 billion?
$2 billion. I'm kind of done.
I'm never working again. I'm doing all hobbies. I'm doing straight hobbies. I'm not working again ever again. I'm gonna have straight hobbies. That's it.
I'm not sketching, nutter article of clothing. No, I'm just playing. I'm sure they really love that stuff. Like, it's totally different when you work as an artist opposed to working corporately.
Yeah.
That type of money.
Because artistry is so much autonomy.
Yeah,
it's like, you.
It's your life.
That's your signature, your staple.
That's who you are, so I guess that's why it's treated that way.
So expensive.
You're buying a piece of me, actually.
Oh, that's deep. I'm about to start selling my resumes like that.
All right.
This is my art. Resumes and headers and using italics and bolding certain words. These resumes are unique, and it's a touch of love that you can only get from melanated millennial.
Yeah.
Oh, did you feel that?
I did.
I think you felt that.
I really did.
Oh.
They're not touched by me. They're blessed by me.
Blessed by me. Yeah, just take a look at this resume here. Pay attention to my spacing. It's a little bit of art deco.
This is art.
This resume is art. That'd be crazy. They'd be like, okay, Lele. What's your Cash App name? Trying to get me out their face. Like, okay, I got the resume. Goodbye.
Weird. No, you got the job. Is what you got.
Weird. You got the job. Oh. Yeah. Yes. Please get the job and let me know when you get it. All right, getting back to the
You the one.
All right, getting back to the fashion. So what's going on? She found out about it and what happened?
So apparently she's posted on via Instagram that no, Versace will remain a private company. That it will remain in Italy. It will remain. She will remain on the board in the company. So I guess this was a concerted effort to get her as a face of a face in the modeling industry, a face in the fashion industry out. And I know she handles like the artistic component and the line component, but her brother has always been one of the financial leaders in it. And they've shown in the movies that he doesn't necessarily the way she go about things. Like sometimes she spends too much money on the materials. Her luxury lifestyle is included in the.
So he probably thinking we can get an extra $2 billion because she over here acting crazy with
And
these
get her
funds.
out of here.
Ooh, and get her out. That sounds like some empire type.
Yeah.
Empire power type
So
stuff.
I was like, look at that. So much stuff going on. I just was stuck on the $2 billion thing. That just like, okay, this has to be spoke about. Let's talk about.
Donate it.
No, it's just like, I know there's things. I don't want to make it racial, but fuck it. There's things that white people
Rich
make.
people power.
Like, we are so invested in what the next group of people has luxurized that is worth $2 billion off a name.
You see people be happy to have Michael Kors anything. And then Versace.
If only we could plug that much excitement and that much
Into ourselves.
into
Into our community.
Man.
Into your cousin that has a business of their own.
We ain't even gotta get a fashion line that's worth $2 billion on our side. If we can get a fashion line that can last as long as the Versace has for a couple $100 million, I would be so proud of us as a people. Like, what black designer? Yeezy said it. Although he was an asshole in the midst of saying it, he said it. What black designer has lasted and has garnished this much esteem? And that's kind of our fucking fault. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on. I want to see the first black designer worth a $2 billion company. Like, now I know we have.
FUBU. We have FUBU.
No shade.
We have FUBU now.
And I think.
What was black too? Fat Farm? Was that black? I felt like that
I believe
was.
all those were black.
FUBU, Fat Farm.
But let's talk. I don't know.
Inichi.
I feel like they stopped investing in the quality of their clothing at a certain point, because it was like first it was like real fly stuff
Then it
and
was
made out
falling
of
apart.
like even H&M. And I know that's not black, but even them as a fashion brand, their jeans were made out of real denim back in the day. I don't know
No, it's
what
not.
they making them pants out of. I'm like, is this like a synthetic denim now? What is this?
They be calling it semi-denim. It's another term for it. I can't think of it, but it's like something denim. I can't remember what it's called. I want to say it's semi-denim. I don't know, but it's not regular denim.
Or like you used to buy like a real thick wool sweater from there, and now it's like you wash that boy 2 times,
It
it's a
shrinks.
whole load. I'm like, nah, y'all tripping.
And the texture is different.
Stop divesting from the materials that we used to. So, and maybe that's why these companies have lasted so long. I don't know.
No, they just be
Something
having.
I found out in my old class though.
What?
Uggs was supposed to be made out of like some luxurious sheep wool that's only grown in like the Appalachians or somewhere.
Well,
mountains or
Peter
something.
wasn't having that.
But the same wool was sold in like some $100, like some $50 pair of shoes, but they just didn't allow them to say where the wool came from. So apparently it's not even hard to invest in good materials for your clothing. So like, I don't understand what be going on out here.
I don't even know if it's just always just the material. I think it's like lack of support. It'd be so many people like, I don't support black business. I don't want to be in the black. I don't want to go to a black business. I seen the stat the other day. It was like everybody's starting a business, but anybody got customer service?
Oh my God.
And I was like, okay.
No shade
Okay.
at all.
Okay.
Everybody got to start somewhere. I'm
Hello.
like, as long as you starting somewhere with like a certain extent of quality, because I know quality is established over time, but like,
Yes.
come on now. It's certain things were just like, customer service the easiest quality you can have in a startup business, is treating people right.
But I think too, though, I can't say that it's like paint a broad brush over a whole group and say black people in general, they don't have good customer service.
Oh no, I'm never.
Because they keep it real. That. No, I know you ain't saying it, but just referring to like what has been said.
Yeah.
I really don't. Most things is like a case by case basis.
I'll say this. I will give them this. Now, if you get customer service from a black person and it's good, it's really good.
No, if you get in this
but
bad,
if you
it's
get bad,
bad,
it's real bad, though.
It's never in the middle. It's like on two far different ends of the spectrum.
So maybe that's what make us feel that way, because it's like, it's never that happy average, like, oh, I dibble and dabble with them. It's always like, oh my God, they were like freaking amazing, or it was like, I ain't never buying again type thing.
I haven't had nothing too crazy though with a black business.
How many have you solicited though?
I don't know.
And then, no shade, but like when I solicit black businesses, it's usually families, so you would hope you don't have too much drama out of the people you know.
I feel like, and that's also good too. I mean, that's kind of part of the reason of having the melanated millennial group. I got so many people in there, people that sell. We got a girl doing, what is she doing, like wax candles or something. Avriel's doing her skincare products.
Hey, do I fair?
We have artists like El Dante.
Yes.
What's the Nicholas that does the spiritual journey stuff?
Yes.
It's a wide variety of things, and so many people that provide awesome services or just have things that they do as a hobby. And it's all within one network.
Yeah.
So hopefully that has some type of influence on how people perceive black business. Of course, that's like on a smaller scale because it's not too many people in that group. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's close to 1,000, but not everybody is like active in it. And I don't know, but I think things like that, having groups like that, and with people coming together to have a common goal, we all want to make some money doing things that we genuinely like to do. Yes. Not just make money, but make money doing things that we genuinely like to do. They are genuinely artists. They have genuine interest in doing the smell good candles and skincare and stuff like that. And I just think we just need more groups or more communities like that kind of promote that and come together. Because I mean, even with the Black Positivity Night, the vendors, I want it to be people that have been active in the Melanated Millennial Group or people that have been active in doing certain things or working, like with Positive Paula, with doing her camera work and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Put them on so we all put each other on. You know what I'm saying? It's got to be some type of unity. But I think that's the biggest deal is the ones that say they don't like black business. Usually they probably don't have nothing going on themselves. No, I'm just saying like business wise, like they don't understand what comes with it. Mm-hmm. So of course I'm gonna go ahead and buy this from Michael Kors instead.
And we all are capable of like a certain level of stereotypical grouping, but you gotta talk yourself down from that stuff. Because I have, now that I'm thinking about it, I have dealt with a couple of people where like I just wanted things to be more corporate, more franchise, and then I had to be like, that's not where you at. That's not where you at.
You're not at a place that has standard processes or standard things.
Who has a family and they're doing this in the midst of doing all that. You're dealing with somebody,
and it's stressful too.
Who like there's a certain level of confidence in being able to get things done when you're a franchise opposed to when you're being a person. So that, mental barrier type thing. You gotta work with the people.
Empathy.
And remember that a component of the reason why you invested in them is because you also feel like as a minority, you're investing in yourself by making them be successful. So a lot of times I was like, I just want to get my money back.
That's the thing with this self era. It's like about me and how fast I'm gonna get this, and so they more efficient. Yeah, because they got standard processes and they got probably way more people on staff because they can afford that.
Right.
But this is shopping is I'm one person and I'm doing all these resumes.
Right. So, like I said, a lot of times, in order for us to succeed as a whole, you have to walk yourself back. But
people don't think like that.
Remember,
that's what's messed up about it is they do not. so many of us lack empathy, and a lot of us don't ever want to take the time to understand where somebody is coming from or to even consider the perspective of the next person. They just worried about what they think about it, and that's it.
Yeah. But that's why we talking about it.
Yeah, and hopefully it makes somebody think about the things that they've said, or maybe you can teach me something. I'm open.
Right. Because look,
these are just my opinions.
How many times have we talked and had like not differences, but confusion in where you was going or where I was going, and I just be like, okay.
We weren't even disagreeing. We were just saying two different things. Remember, I said that at one point. I was like, dude, wait, we're not even disagreeing. You saying one thing, I'm just saying another. These are two different things on one topic. It's just like you realize, like in a relationship, you arguing with your man, and you'd be like, wait a minute. Well, I think I told you about Daoud. We were going back and forth about something, and I was like, wait, dude, you're concerned with this, but I'm concerned with that. We're not disagreeing. We just have different concerns right now.
Right.
So maybe we can talk about each concern individually,
right.
you know? And that's what happens a lot of times with people. We ain't really taking the time to really consider what the other person is saying because we're busy trying to build our case
out, right.
and make sure that we heard. But that's not the point. The point of the argument or going back and forth with somebody is to hear them.
Right.
And hopefully they try to hear you. That way, without pushing and fussing, both of us get some type of understanding because we heard the other person. And it sounds so simple, but it just rarely happens.
You know what? I'm going to make this funny because when I was going, okay, you was like shocked that I was like so quick to like, you really do get it, huh?
You get it.
Like, that's it? I don't have to fight no further? Yeah. You made your point? Okay.
All right, cool. All right. Hey, me, I'm just saying. No, I'm just letting you how they care. I'm just saying. All right.
Speaking of those of us who cannot get the general point, though.
Oh, my gosh. What?
We got Mike Epps and Leslie Jones clapping back at Kevin Hart.
Leslie clapped back at everybody, but go ahead.
She really did.
She did.
She said, somebody was like, oh, she busted shots today, didn't even know she had a gun.
Leslie pulled both of those out. She had two shotties. Bow, bow. I'm tired of this. Don't put me in the middle of this. Don't say my name because ain't neither one of y'all put me on.
Yeah, let's start with her.
Did she credit Chris Rock?
She did credit Chris Rock.
Say it.
She said if anybody ever gave me a chance, it was Chris Rock because he took me on the road and did try to put my name out there.
Check.
But I still had to do my own work. As far as maybe working with Cat Williams, it was like maybe somebody else put her on.
Oh, and it just so happened
that it was with him.
But it's not like he selected her. It was like, I'm putting you on, boo.
Right. And Kevin Hart hadn't did anything.
So why say my name?
You could use a whole bunch of names, but I need you to not use mine. And like, let's
find somebody else.
And she probably got some subtle,
I felt like that was kind of shady because they was talking about looks and stuff, and it was like, well, it is some people that don't look that good that's on. Look at Leslie. Right. Don't put me in there because of that. Talk about me in another light. I can see that too. That's why she shot everybody.
And she probably got some cultural anger because let's talk about it. The first chance she really did get to be put on a high stage, white people did
embracing her. White people were embracing her.
So let's hold. I can see why she probably like, I'm gonna need y'all to shut the fuck up. Don't say nothing to me. I don't want to hear nothing from y'all.
I can understand her stance on that. I was just surprised that she like with at both of them though. Like,
I was like,
and quiet as a cat. Chris Rock, the one who put me on.
Right.
Keep it all the way, G. Right. Like, she turned all the way gangster.
She usually so happy.
I like how
she
checked them, though. That was good.
And if you're going to use my name,
use it correctly. Use it in the right light. Be correct. Get your facts together. But then again, there you go. Taking other people's stories and then kind of using it to your advantage at that time. That's what he did.
Yeah.
You weren't even a part of it. Child, please. Goodbye. No, I'm done.
Let's move on to what Mike Epps was saying because he just couldn't let it ride either.
You know he wasn't. It's expected.
In the back of my mind, I did think he was gonna let it ride because I think although hasn't reached the same heights, I think his success has more breadth. It's wider than what Kevin Hart is allowed to do. Okay, he's super winning at doing these comedy shows, at being in these comedic movies. But Mike Epps has He was allowed to do comedy. He was allowed to do a few dramas. He's on the road.
And I think he has the
Acting
he has
capabilities.
and he has the heart of general public.
Yeah.
If you read those comments and stuff, it's like, of course he's funnier than Kevin. People, it seems like they genuinely seriously.
I don't like
generally
making those
prefer
type
him.
of assessments, so I'm just going.
But that's what I see. It seems like the general, and I would say like our population, like
Okay, fine.
you know, us.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
I do.
And that's, again, he's more of us.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? And
Understand.
Kevin would be more for others.
He has a universal.
I can't even say
comedic
universal.
approach.
He's slowly losing certain crowds and certain audiences.
Okay, I'm gonna leave it alone. But he had to come on and say that, you know, always remember that that's not your house. You're just at the gate,
Ooh,
type
he's
of
saying
thing.
he's a houseboy.
Yeah,
That's deep.
and
They
I
always
was-
go back and forth.
Can we not? Because the point that Kevin was trying to establish, and this is the stop its negative component, even if that is the case, even if it is the case, he's saying, okay, we stuck in a house. At least let's move up to the sharecropper stage of the fucking evolution of black people.
I feel like that was a slap in the face. Sharecropping was definitely a slap in the face. It was like putting salt in a wound. Like
that didn't help.
No,
I didn't help with that?
I'm not a fan of sharecropping. I felt like that was really a slap in the face.
I mean, if we're going to evolve,
I'm just saying.
we gotta follow the natural evolution. Can we-
Why we gotta follow that whole slave trade mentality anyways?
We don't, but damn, like a nigga making some type of effort to make it a little bit different. Okay, we gonna get out of their house and make a house of our own on their land at least. Can we get our? So he's making efforts to
No,
try to
I ain't
make it.
sharecropping,
Nah.
man. No. Might as well had just you
I should just left it alone.
should just. It was still like a form of slavery.
Do you
Like
get- I know.
it was still horrible. No
Maybe-
better. We were still
maybe that
having
was
terrible things happen
a
to us.
Terrible analogy. Maybe that's what
Don't
that was.
get better until you get away. Okay, go ahead.
I'm saying, you know, there's not really other than what it's only
Okay, I guess what you're saying is like basically make the best of it. That's
like
that's what he
I'm
kinda-
using my position to make sure that the next person isn't stuck in my position type thing. And
But
as
who
long-
is this next person? Is
I
it
don't
somebody that's already under
Underneath
the
him,
spotlight?
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. I just feel like if we genuinely feel like people are trying to change the narrative, then we should be quiet a little bit.
But I don't think he genuinely thinks that he's trying to change the narrative. I
He
think
probably don't. He
Mike
doesn't.
Epps thinks. I don't know why they keep beefing and then they say, we cool,
Cool.
and then they get mad again because I guess it's just never done.
He really did. You know what? And that was kind of Kevin's fault, for real. Because although, you know, Cat Williams threw them shots, he didn't have to bring up Mike Epps in that situation. He
It
really
wasn't
could have
necessary.
stuck to who said what, but he hadn't said anything in a long time.
I think he's like, he likes hearing himself talk. And I think, because he's, even before him
Let's be
cheating,
fair, we do
it
have
would
a
be,
podcast.
I know, but he be, I don't know, it's like, yeah, and it just, you didn't have
He
to
was
jump in
for
it.
real with
You didn't
watch
have
it.
to jump in. I ain't watch it because I
Yeah,
boycotted it because
you
I
did.
really didn't want to hear what they had to say.
You
I was
did.
just like, nah. I'm cool. And it was long, and I ain't really been feeling that show anyways lately, so I was
Oh,
like,
God,
I'm
okay.
cool without it.
But you were saying
I don't even know.
he likes hearing
Just
himself.
half the time, I just don't be. I don't know. It just came off
Remember
corny.
remember we was having like the kitchen table talks, the family talks.
Oh, the talks for the house.
Yeah, I feel like that was very much a talk for the house, but it got out of control.
That could have been a talk for the house, but at the same time, they still wouldn't see eye to eye because
Never.
Kevin, he's gonna vehemently like deny that that's why he is where he's at right now. He's gonna deny that about Tiffany as well. The stuff that Kat was saying of her reason of why she's so popular and why certain individuals are popular. I think those are things that they just gonna have to agree to disagree on.
Right.
And the other thing to remember is that there are different like branches of comedy. You got the goody goody two shoes that don't even cuss at all when they do comedy.
Absolutely.
You got the ones that go way off and say some dark stuff like Corey Holcomb, or no, really, like he say some dark stuff. And then you got people that say off the wall stuff like Jamie Foxx. He was real funny. Jamie Foxx stand up, or I feel like somebody is over there, or Eddie Murphy. Raw. It's like he was just crazy. And then you got like Kevin, and that's like commercial funny at this point. That's what it kind of drifted into. Like it's like commercial funny. It's supposed to be funny for all. It's comfortable. You can probably watch with your kids maybe if you want to. Yeah. Probably not with some of the jokes. But in general, it ain't going to be like you watching Bernie and his cuss word after cuss word. Right. You know what I'm saying? But me, personally...
Yeah.
I prefer stuff a little bit on the darker end, dark jokes, because for real, I think like the essence of comedy is like taking traumatic events. And that's what we do as black people. We laugh at the craziest stuff, something that the average person would be like, why are you laughing? This is not funny. You're in big trouble, buddy. You're in big doo-doo. But for us, it's like, man, I told her. Da-da-da-da. And then everybody's laughing about it. You making fun of traumatic events. You know what I'm saying? And... That's what I appeal to. I think Kevin appealed to that like at one point, and then over time it's kind of like I got to shift to appeal to where the money is gonna come from. Yes. I'm just saying, that's my analysis.
I'm sitting up here self-criticizing myself. I'm like, I really fucked that up with the sharecropping thing. That is probably...
The sharecropping, though, wasn't a good example.
You probably shouldn't.
That was a slap in the face. But you know what's ironic is, like, it seems like in school they try to make it sound like it was a step up for us. Like, it was like, yeah, now they're sharecropping. And I was just like, this is totally
It was still very exploitive.
It's
yeah.
Yes.
It was just
exploitation.
It was slavery with a political correctness cover to it, but yeah.
Oh, we're gonna give you your own, the illusion, which we still have to deal with today. So no, I don't like it. Yeah. I'm cool.
But into like my point of saying that was like there's I don't even know how, diverse or economically those things are set up. But like Tyler, outside of Tyler Perry and Oprah, who gonna distribute and what studio you gonna work with? So to some extent, all these relationships are partnerships with other bigger establishments that are not necessarily diverse in our favor.
That is true. Like, who's just doing it 100% independent?
So, this is the next evolution until you get to the point where you own the land and you're working on it. So I was just like...
That's going to require an overthrow.
Do you think...
If you want them out the house, you have got to get rid of the enemy.
Let's not talk about how Oprah almost got kicked out of her own shit, okay? The power is just not there yet.
That's what I'm saying, though.
The power is just...
All or nothing, B.
Get down and lay down.
Call me when we ready. Get down and lay down. Call me when we ready to overthrow, man. Other than that, man, I'm going to go ahead and do my stuff independently, man.
It's crazy.
That's so funny.
Okay.
On to something that is not so funny.
Yeah, we gotta.
This is very serious.
To take a breath and calm down on this one.
It's a little draining.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of moving parts associated with it, but it looks like it's pretty much come to a screeching halt.
Yeah, I think we'll close the stop is negative category and just make this our tangent, and then that'll be it.
Ooh, I don't know if I want to go deep on this one.
It's not really going deep. I think we're just going to not talk about that. No, okay. I think this was yours.
Sucker.
I'm going to definitely spin it so we can talk about something.
This is coming from the person that says sharecropping. Remember that. Throwing me to the wolves.
I mean, those are cultural truths of ours. These are things that I would hate to believe are culturally true, though. It's just like, wow.
It happens.
I don't want to deal with this.
All right. Cosby. According to newser.com, now I'm forgetting the date. It was this week. What was that? Wednesday?
Sure.
Wednesday.
It was Wednesday.
Oh, yes. Bill Cosby was sentenced to 3 to 10 years for sexual assault, despite his blindness, his apparent blindness, and also his old age. What was the term that they described him as? It was a sexual predator or something like that. Yeah. I can't remember the exact term, but it was something to the effect of like sexual predator. So he's going to be staying at the Pennsylvania Corrections facility. Oh, no, wait. Yeah, he's going to be staying at the SCI Phoenix, which is about 20 miles away from his gated estate, which is like, ooh.
Is that maximum
right
security?
By there.
Because I saw when I was screaming through the shade room, they
what
said
I've
he's
got
been
is
moved to maximum security.
What I got is state of the art. It's in the suburbs of Philadelphia.
Okay.
It's a $400 million prison that just opened 2 months ago. I feel like they built it for him.
Wow.
It just opened 2 months ago, so it's very fresh.
I thought we were moving away from private prisonization. But no.
Well, there's
Trump overthrew that, right? No.
There's there's general population at that prison as well.
No, what I meant private prisons, like the prisons that are owned by corporations. I thought we were moving away from that. I don't think the government spent $400 million on
they
the
called it's listed as a state prison.
Oh, okay.
He's being housed in a single cell near the infirmary. Corrections Secretary John Wetzel says that the prison's long-term goal is to place Cosby in general population. Under prison policy, he'll be allowed phone calls and visits and will get a chance to exercise. Wetzel says the prison is taking all of the necessary precautions to ensure the celebrity's safety. And what's even more messed up is that in the article they listed Bill Cosby's inmate number. It's NN7687. Dang.
They disrespectful.
For who else do they list their inmate number?
Let's not even talk about the disparity between the way cases are handled racially, because look, with certain people we don't even get their pictures, okay? They committed whole murders and we don't know what they look like, and then get released from prison, so we don't know who to look out for. But
and of course we're not denouncing or defending or anything with Cosby, but I do think like this does bring to your mind like, okay, so next, who else was on the list again for the Me Too offenders?
Harvey Weinstein, this new Supreme Court justice that is getting appointed
People
right
in
now.
power. Charlie Sheen.
Yeah.
That man had AIDS too.
The lady who, the survivor wife on the talk.
Oh.
Her husband.
Yeah. I think her name is Julie. Is her name
Julie?
Julie. And after she chastised Bill Cosby's wife for standing by her man. Ain't like she put out statements and was like, he ain't do it or forget all of y'all. She just was there with him. You know what I'm saying? And you went in on her on your show, and in a minute your husband gets brought up on something. I have to go. I'm stepping down from my position. So you sticking by your man's side. And they were arguing about it on what is that show, The Real?
Yeah.
Going back and forth about it.
Sometimes karma's quick, honey.
Karma can be quick and can be swift, and it will catch you by surprise.
You stupid.
You look up and look at your man on the screen. He got 12 broads talking about he did this and that. What you gonna do now?
You could have afforded that woman some empathy that you are now expecting people to have for you, and it won't be there.
Yeah, and at least maybe even apologize, because nobody got that. It's just, I'm stepping down.
Yeah, she didn't even apologize.
Where's the back pedal of?
That would have incriminated her husband.
Well, then her not showing up with her husband would have incriminated him as well. So why couldn't you identify with that?
True.
You got to be careful. I think Sharon Osbourne, she got on and she apologized.
She's like, I would like to remove myself from all that bullshit, because what I'm not gonna do is miss these checks of her.
Sure, I need to be on my show. I don't know if I can talk like her or not. I have to hear her talk again. But I mean, I'm happy this is like over with. I'm done with the dragging out and the public stoning and stuff.
Yeah. Gotta get held up on his way to court.
Yeah, I mean, I just wish they'd get done with all of them, all the people that have done things to take advantage of women or made sexual advantages without proper permission.
I think the component of this, and which will be like my little tangent about it, is that I think we need to really strongly evaluate our justice system and reform it, and which we have been talking about in the black community for a long time in regards to these police shootings. But I think we should speak to it in regards to the level of punishment based on what factors. because right now, the difference between 3 and 10 years isn't looking conditional. It's looking racial right about now. So I think we need to take out that level of discretion. That is a 7-year.
That's a large gap.
A 7-year discretionary difference based on one man's opinion
and
sentencing. And based on our history of promoting people into power that aren't racially biased, I think we need to address that as a whole. Like, okay, we can have racially biased people up there. That's something that we're probably never going to get away from. But let's eliminate this huge window in between how we can allow them to change our lives.
Right.
7-year difference for the same crime is fucking ridiculous.
That's crazy.
We need to close this gap a little bit. Make it 4 to 6, so you only cheating us out of 2 extra years.
Right.
Make it 3 to 5, so you only cheating us out of 2 extra years. But 3 to 10.
Didn't you say it was like it could be 3 or it could be 3 times?
3 times as much punishment for the same crime. And what I have to remember is being during my younger years when I was interning at a law firm, a big law firm in Ohio. And it was one of the partners. She sat us in her office one day, and this one teenager had committed crime, and he had like strangled the woman and drowned her, and like a super severe crime. And I was like, we need to up our sentencing. And she stopped me right there at 16 years old and said, you have to be very careful with that mindset. Because if we increase the sentences, we have to take into regard who's actually going to receive those maximum punishments. And oftentimes, it's only going to be people who look like you. So instead...
Shout out to her. Yes. I need people like that around me to be like, girl, you need not think like that, boo-boo, because of this. Like, I love to have people around me like that. Drop some knowledge on me, please.
Let me simmer you down a little bit.
Get me hip. Because that was real, and especially to learn at what you said you were 16?
I was 16. Talked me all the way back. And she was like, if anything, we need to address how high some of these sentences are, because the true committers of it will never really
necessarily... They probably won't even get to the point where they're going to have to serve
the point
the
to be in court. And let's talk about... Even if we base how much time someone's going to get on how many times they've been caught doing that similar crime, that's still a racial bias because they look for minorities more than they look for the predominant race. So it's going to look like you deserve more time because you've been caught more, but only because they looking for you more. So that as a condition of how long you get sentences is still racially based. So like there's so many different things that we need to go in and look at in regards to just sentencing. Okay, we gonna move away from if you did it, if they caught you fair, if they read you the rights. We moving all the way from that. If I'm gonna go to jail for a crime, I would like to know the other criminals around me who did the same shit is going to be here just as long as I am, because that's crazy.
Well, actually, because of the sharecropping laws, you are more susceptible to the
dark
law.
humor.
So, with that being said, I'm going to sentence you to the maximum of 10 years, maximum security, no visitors, no phone calls, and your number is no.
You stupid. And this will be my last tidbit because we're moving towards the future, right? I think court hearings should be conducted by humans, but sentencing, can clearly be an algorithm, a mathematical equation. A computer can
Type
do that
it in.
shit.
I did this.
I did this. I got caught this. This many people got hurt, and this is my sentence.
I have remorse. I don't have remorse.
Because let's be very clear. If black people, if the NAACP, if all these nonprofit groups really wanted to go make some motherfucking money, they could go look at some of these court cases and separate them by race and see just how racist a lot of you motherfuckers is, if they had the time. So let's just move away from that. Let's just move away from that and make it to where, colleges have to be able to explain why they accepted one student over other. There's a point system.
Sometimes they have to do that.
There's a point system to that. We accepted them because they got so many points on this essay.
They have this GPA.
They have this GPA. They come from this.
Background.
Boom, boom, boom. This is why this person got in. We can't do that with our legal system, with our justice system. We can't go back to an equation that says this. That's fucked up.
I think maybe a combination of an equation and then still the discretion of some people, but again, not have, because you got to have a human component to it.
Yeah.
Unless the equation is going to take into consideration like characteristics too. I don't know what type of equation that would be though. I like the equation idea.
If they can make algorithms that make us addicted to Facebook, I'm hoping that they can figure this shit out. For real, for real.
I think a combination would be good.
Of course.
And not in the hands of just one person,
I just need it to be a little bit more explainable. If I never forget, and this is me making it about me in such a petty way, but I had a paper, and it was known throughout the campus that this business communication professor was racist. I had a paper. I had watched a girl right in front of me argue her point, and she gave her 2 more points on her essay. I'm sitting here with a B essay with no red marks in this motherfucker whatsoever.
Oh, it's just a B, but you ain't tell me where.
So I'm like, I need you to explain why this is a B, because you didn't mark nothing. She was like, I just felt like it was a B. I said, no, bitch.
No. Dang, this never happened to me.
Which is why she was known on campus as the clearly racist professor, because she could say some shit out of her mouth like, I just felt like it was a B. You felt like, there's a whole rubric.
I feel like, no, I'm just playing.
I feel like your ass is racist.
Right. I feel like I want to turn up right now. How about that?
I feel like if I didn't have 6 more weeks of this class, I'd be on your ass.
Right. That's what I feel like. We want to talk about feelings. I got your feelings. Ooh, I got your feelings. Don't do that. Don't tell me what you feel like.
That pissed you off on me.
I don't like it.
You play
because we already grew up with our parents saying, because I said so.
Right.
So as an adult,
you're not going to do
I don't want to hear it from the next person.
No,
I'm going to need an explanation. And then I'm going to make a conclusion of whether or not I think it makes sense. So go.
And she read through it again. And she looked at it. She's like, well, I'm sure I had a reason somewhere.
Oh, girl, bye. You should have recorded her for that.
I'm like, find the reason then.
Where's it at?
And
other than that, give me my A.
Because I had to adamantly fight about... She just gave the girl her 2 points. But I had to adamantly fight it. And she knew she didn't have a fucking case.
That's wild. That's wild.
She agreed to give me a point.
Oh, no. I would have went further than that.
So I was like... We all knew this bitch was racist when we walked in here, and we're just going to leave it alone.
About that dumb conversation, and we would have had to have a meeting about that.
She was like, well, in the future, I'm going to make sure I mark. And I'm like, you better.
As a professor, you need to provide feedback if I don't get it 100% correct. Whether it's a grammatical error, anything. Like, I need to know.
The problem was...
How do I improve, professor? Teacher?
A lot of these people will tell you, I read the first paragraph and made my assessment from there.
I wish I would hear that from a professor.
A professor
because
told me
I'm
that.
Paying tuition and I'm paying you. You need to read my whole paper and you need to tell me what I need to improve on.
A professor told me sometimes they read the first and the last paragraph and they make their assessment from there. So what they told me is she didn't even read the first and the last paragraph. That bitch read my name and put the grade on it.
She read on that and put your face to it and was like, the black guy. B for black.
Right.
B for black.
And let's be fair, it could have been nothing mind.
Moving on.
Could have been C for coon. Ooh. But she knew I wasn't one of the dumb niggas and I was gonna have questions.
Let me give him a B. That would have been escalated though. I would have went to somebody above her.
It was so well documented who this fucking woman was at that time. It was just like, it's gonna fall on deaf ears. Like we was just all waiting for them to fire her. And I think it was like a year and a half before they actually did. Like she finally did get fired for racial issues.
I would have required a meeting. I'm gonna need a meeting, or I'm taking this story to the tabloids.
But that on a smaller scale, exaggerated all the way up to the judgment level is what we're experiencing, and we have way more at stake than a grade. Like that is years off your life, years towards rehabilitation that you could be receiving, that you're still being punished for some shit you might have not even did. Because we're not going to talk about the police department who was telling them to go out and arrest minorities and stick crimes on them just so the crime rate would go down. And as soon as that motherfucker was removed, they didn't solve no crimes.
I mean, I still feel like they be picking and choosing what they gonna look into.
I'm just like, we cannot keep fucking doing shit like this, because you know what it does to us as a people, and I take this personally. Sometimes when I consider whether or not I'm going to break the law, I be thinking they gonna get me for some bullshit anyways. And that's a dangerous mentality to have people have. And it's not like,
if it ain't for this, it was gonna be something else.
I'm not even electing to feel like that. I don't want to feel like that. But in the back of my mind, I know I can go about my life perfectly fucking right and still get caught up in some bullshit. So if I'm gonna get caught up in some bullshit, I might as well get caught up in some bullshit that I done chose. And that's dangerous, because now you have people committing crimes because they don't have trust in a justice system to do things the right way. So, like, if you don't get nothing else from this, get that it impedes justice to not have things be justifiable.
Ooh, I like that.
And that's it.
Say it again.
It impedes justice for things to not be justifiable. And we want a world where shit is fair. And even if it ain't gonna be all the way fair.
I was about to say it ain't gonna be all the way fair, but
some form of fair.
Give me a sign that there's a chance
that it'd be right.
That there could be a case of something being fair, not just all the way across the board, but it just happened that this was fair.
That's all. And
we wrap it up on that.
Yeah,
note.
That's done.
Wrap it up on that note.
It was shit.
You brought it home, though.
Come on,
you know
now.
You did.
I did.
It home. It was on your heart.
It really was. I've been feeling this way.
It was on your heart, and it was
for
in your
years.
spirit.
I've been 16 years old when I get 16 years. I'm a decade into thinking about the fucking criminal justice system. I'm supposed to be young still. Like, I'm not really supposed to be thinking about shit like that. I'm not supposed to be thinking.
But then again, that is one of the things that come along with who we are.
Right.
We are introduced to it, even if we're not technically in it. We know about it. We know about it, and we concerned about it before we even have to have direct involvement with it, and that's messed up. As a child, that is traumatic. That's a problem.
Look, this is how traumatized, and I'm gonna end it here. As a black person, the law and the justice system is for me. I just heard the fucking sirens. I didn't even see the car. I almost ran off the road one time. It's not even funny. Like, I literally, my shit jumped the curb because I heard sirens, and I'm thinking, oh shit, they after me. Guess what I was doing? Not a goddamn thing but driving down the road. And that is so sad that amount of fear is developed within us, and we ain't doing shit.
And that happened to me recently. I was on Broadway doing the speed limit, and there was a cop car behind me, and the lights just went off, and I was like my heart dropped.
Stopped.
And I got like instantly warm. Like, if I get really upset about something, my body just gets warm, like my blood be boiling. Or if I get really nervous, it just goes warm. And as soon as I see them lights come on, I looked at my rear view. I just got real hot, and my heart dropped, and I was like, oh my gosh, I don't even want to talk to them. I don't like, and not that I'm scared of my situation, but it's just the fact of, I don't want you walking up to the car with the flashlight asking me questions. I just don't want that interaction. I'm scared of it. Because I don't know who about to walk up on me. Somebody that's going to be like, she was acting crazy. You know what I'm saying? That stuff is scary. My daughter is scared of the police.
That's really sad.
And I tell my students about this, and I ain't going to say nothing else about it. But, like, we talk about personal experiences and how they shape how you see certain groups of people or whatever. And I always like use this as an example. With Gabriella, we went to the ER. We took her to the ER because she was sick. And the news was on. I didn't pay attention to it. And then like a few days later, I was driving in the car and she was in the back seat and she said, "Mommy, I'm mad." And I was like, "What are you mad about? What's wrong?" "I'm mad and I'm sad because the police, they won't let the man up." They won't let him up. He keeps saying, let me up. I'm mad about the people on the ground. I was like, dang. And I had told Daoud, he cried. I cried too, because I was like, dang. I didn't even realize that that's what was being like shown on the news, and that she was soaking it up in that moment, because it was all about talking to the doctor and seeing what's going on, and she's sick and she's throwing up. But at the same time, she's noticing the news, and she's seeing the police basically harming people that are unarmed.
Right.
And that stuck in her head, because she didn't talk about it the same night. This was days later.
Right.
So even now, when she sees the police, we try to, and I don't even like that if we got to have a conversation with, she was 4 at that time, with a 4-year-old to explain, like, not all cops are bad.
Right.
You don't have to be fearful when you see them. But it is genuinely is fear. And that's sad. That's messed up. Only 4 years old. That's tough to swallow. But again,
like,
one of those
like,
things that come along with where you come from.
I'm like, people, that's really fucked up. Because it's like, people don't even understand that creates a totally different life. Do you know
different outlook on it.
Do you know what type of life it creates for you to feel like somebody's out there
constantly
protecting you, and somebody's constantly out there hunting you? That is a totally different life. We don't even get to grow up with the same fucking concept
because you thinking of
life.
Getting hunted. That's crazy.
Like, come on. And with that, we're just gonna let it go, because I don't want to go. You can go miles on this, because apparently we done all spent a lifetime with the shit. But like, we would like to move forward not doing that. So let's just acknowledge some shit and just do better.
I concur. Tangent Bandits, we out.